To discuss, let's welcome in Iowa Congressman Zach Nunn. Great to see you this morning, Congressman. So we don't have any details on the White House's counter proposal, but as we mentioned, those judicial warrants could be a red line. What do you hope is included? And do you think Democrats negotiate, or are we just one way into another partial shutdown?
Well, Mark and Charlotte, as you have seen right now, we have the responsibility to make sure that our government is funded. And let's be very clear here. Democrats have decided to move forward with trying to shut down the government over defunding ICE. Ask a Democrat today how that would happen, because we've already funded ICE through 2029. We should have real conversations about how we fix challenges within immigration enforcement. But what we should not do is shut down the DHS standards that would stop pay for our TSA agents at U.S. airports, that we should not pay for Coast Guard members who are currently intercepting Ghost Fleet, that we should not pay for key things like emergency funding in the middle of winter to FEMA. Shutting these down shows just not only a complete lack of foresight on what's going on, but it also overshadows the fact that the U.S. government was able to fund all of our appropriations bills, something that hasn't happened since the 1990s. There has been real wins moving forward. I'm proud to always be part of the solution-oriented group, and I think that there are both Democrats and Republicans who agree with this. But a few senators have decided to make a, policy issue the reason that they would not pay federal workers who are on the front line. I think everyone feels that that is abhorrent, it's wrong, and they don't have a pathway to get out of it.
Yeah, speaking of someone who doesn't seem like they wanted a deal, reporters asked House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries about possibly supporting another short-term funding extension, but he refused to answer. Take a listen to this.
I'm just curious if there's any chance you would vote for or allow your members to vote for a short-term CR to do a clean extension of DHS just to give more time for negotiations.
ICE is out of control right now. The American people know it. And ICE clearly needs to be reined in.
That doesn't seem to be an answer to the question, I would say. So, Congressman, would you support a CR if we do get to keep the government open, at least partially, while they negotiate this out?
Well, look, I've voted several times to keep the government funded. We've done it the right way through appropriations. CRs just take last year's funding and potentially add more money to it. We need to have an appropriations process that works here. The House has clearly shown that it's able to happen. That's why we passed all of our appropriations bills. I continue to vote for the bill that we passed. If there are policy differences here, then let's have those conversations. I'm meeting with Denny Holman. I encourage Hakeem Jeffries and the Democrats to do the same. But let's also be clear. Even Democrats think that shutting down the government is a bad idea, and yet their leadership continues to press forward on this, which is a danger to every American, a danger to all of our air travel, a danger to FEMA, and a danger to our Coast Guard. That cannot be the source of solution by shutting these guys down because they don't have a plan to move forward.
And we know the House is also looking to vote this week on the SAVE Act. And Pew Research finds that 71% of Democrats and 83% of Americans overall are in favor of requiring voter ID to vote in elections. So why are some Democrat lawmakers fighting so hard against what their own constituents want?
Well, let me be clear. When I was in the Iowa State Legislature as a state senator, we passed voter ID, and it's only helped improve not only voter integrity, but voter engagement. And so any Democrat who is saying that this is going to suppress people, they just need to look to the states that have already passed it to see that this actually helps on the voter integrity piece. It also ensures that we have fair elections and that we know the results can be successful. What we're doing at the federal level is building on best practices from states like Iowa who have proven in the field this is a great way for voter integrity, and it also helps to enfranchise the voter population. Anybody moving in the opposite direction is clearly trying to disenfranchise folks for their right to vote and knowing that their elections truly matter.
Yeah, before we go, Congressman, I wanted to get to this real quickly. The House successfully passed the bipartisan housing package that includes your rural housing program, focusing on increasing supply, lowering costs for families. Of course, now you got to negotiate with the Senate, which means negotiating with Elizabeth Warren. Do you think there's any chance we can get a bipartisan housing deal done?
Well, let me tell you this. It passed overwhelmingly in the House. And here's the reality. Most Americans want the opportunity for home ownership. We've seen the average age of first-time home buyers skyrocket from mid-20s to now in the 40s. There's a housing shortage of nearly 3 to 5 million across the entire country. This isn't going to get fixed overnight. And it's exactly this type of stall tactics that has resulted in housing not getting updated for decades here in Washington, D.C. This is not a homeowner or a first-time home buyer's responsibility. This is Washington's job to get it right. That's why I'm so proud to have led bipartisan efforts to move forward our 21st century housing, which will expand housing options, add microloans, include things like refurbished housing so that you can do a fix-up or a repair. Our rural housing bill looks specifically at the challenges that rural America faces. This isn't all just in big cities. It's about taking care of communities so they can be successful for the next generation. I'm thrilled it's passed. I'm thrilled it's bipartisan. Now let's get it out there so that every American can have the American dream of home ownership.
Sounds great. All right, Congressman Zach Nunn, thanks for joining us today. We'll have Housing and Urban Development Secretary Scott Turner on in our next hour to discuss this further.
Thank you.